Welcome to Oxsports Unleashed, Series 3, Episode 21, I think. Welcome, probably to our last live show, definitely our last live show of the series. Welcome wherever you are, in your hot tubs, you sportsmen in your ice baths, wherever you are, welcome. Live at Oxford Downs Cricket Club here in Stanlake, we thank them very much, the studio. And as you can see, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice we have a new, old guest presenter back from the wilderness. Welcome back, Cadol. Where you been?
I've been getting my eyes done so I can see, so I can become a really good cricketer and such like. I've been working behind the scenes for you, haven't I, feverishly, with my fantastic laptop, which...
The results service have been exceptional. So lots of things coming up tonight.
We've got loads coming up. We've got our regular feature of football, lots and lots of goals to show you, particularly one game, which is courtesy of Ian Fever, up at Ardley United. That'll be an interesting and entertaining watch. We've got cricket, we've got rugby, we've got our normal results service, league tables, fixtures. Will the league tables be highlighting Bugbrook St Michael? Probably. I imagine they would.
Let's hope there's a Wes or
there'll be a Wesism. There'll definitely be a few K-Dog-isms. I'm sure I've put Easington Sprots in there or something along those lines.
It wouldn't be the show without those, would it?
No, absolutely not. It really wouldn't. And it's good to be back. As I say, I haven't been anywhere as such. I've just been on my sabbatical, shall we say. But no, getting my eyes sorted out is the main thing, so I can see everything that's going on. Everybody looks much better looking, actually. You look much better looking than I thought you were.
You need to get your eyes tested again. It obviously hasn't worked.
And you're going to turn me into Harry Brook this year. So
call me Ali Bongo or whatever magician you want. Thank you. On a packed programme tonight, we have got quite a lot to get through. So
really cool,
it did sound a bit like that, didn't it? So let's, without further ado, go to our incredible goal show put together by Locksmith. Patrick Lock does a great work on this. He's realised that it takes him an awful long time, and he realised that he shouldn't have made it so good in the first place, but because we're asking him to do it all the time now. But let's go with the football goals from last weekend.
Goal Fest.
There's just a few weeks left of the season, but there are certainly some important goals still going in around the county. It's been a crucial few weeks for Oxford City and National League North as they have been playing the sides in and around them. A trip to Alfreton would see a win make them all but safe. They have been notorious slow starters in recent weeks, but just 7 minutes in, Ewan Clark produced a goal of the season contender to put Ross Jenkins' side ahead, although Alfreton would find the leveller in the second half as the side shared the spoils. The Hoops travelled to Hereford on Tuesday night, and you'll see footage from that later on in the show.
Difficult one because there's so many talking points today. Probably start with their goal. We knew it was coming. We knew they had a long throw. They play on set pieces. They throw it in everywhere. They put the ball in the box. They play sort of minimal football and get the ball forward, and that's how they roll. It's something we had to battle with. I thought we've done that really well today, apart from the goal where I think their lads turned and swiveled and shot, which we need to make sure that doesn't happen. Apart from that, we weathered everything, really. We looked like a team who was going to score, and I think we created maybe 5 golden chances to score.
Banbury United have had a tough few weeks, but did pick up a win in front of their own fans on Saturday against AFC Sudbury. The scoring was opened when the ball fell to Luke Stoko just inside the box. His volley beat the keeper to put his side ahead. Into the second half, and Josh Flanagan made it 2-0. He peeled away at the far post to meet this ball into the box, leaving him with a simple task of heading the ball into the empty net and give his side an unassailable lead in the match. For more football from in and around Oxfordshire, you can always head over to the Lock Ryde Oxfordshire Football Podcast. A new episode each week in the football season on Spotify and YouTube. For now though, let's head back to the studio for some more Oxsports Unleashed.
I've missed that Patrick Lock through the ages, all those different hairstyles. Absolutely brilliant. I
hasn't
love
gone
that.
grey yet, though, has it?
Hasn't gone grey yet. You would have thought working on this programme, he would have done, wouldn't he? But no, it's all good. I think he must dye it, but We'll ask him later. No, our thanks to Patrick for putting that together. It's fantastic. There's some great goals on there as well.
Yeah,
So probably a good point to say at this moment in time that if you want to get involved with Ox Sports Unleashed, you know, to do things like that, produce things, give us articles. We're getting good feedback from places like Ardley and Bicester Vixens and other places as well. So if you can send us any clip or you want to get involved as a presenter, producer, whatever, please use our email address, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. There it is at the bottom, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And more goals now, I think.
Yes, yeah, more goals indeed. Ardley United, who have been absolutely flying this season, they've decided to turn on the goal tap, haven't they, over the last couple of weeks? And their last 3 games, I think they've conceded 1 goal, and they've scored a fair few. 8-0, 4-0, 5-1 their last 3 games. This one was against Hilltop. I love that Hilltop. It doesn't look like they're on a hilltop to me.
It's from The Walking Dead, I'm sure. And the way they played, they probably...
Maybe it is. Nice looking ground though, you know, tree line, can't see too many hills, but lots of really good goals for Ardley United, who, as we say, have been absolutely flying high, really. This looks like it's going to be a decent goal. It is. Referee in a good position, right in the middle of the penalty area. That's where I always used to stand, even when the ball's up the other end. Bit of a mistake defensively.
I think we can safely say that was a great pass.
Yep, and here comes goal number 5, a little in-swinging corner to the back stick. That's a good call. That's a cracking corner, actually, wasn't it? Really difficult to defend those. Yeah. So that made it 5. Floodlights are good here at Hilltop. Yeah, nice looking ground.
Another assist from the defence there, I think we can safely say.
I was watching St Greaves' own goal of the season once, a couple of weeks ago. That was 6-0. That was a good ball over the top, and then that's a cracking finish, lobbed over the goalkeeper for number 7. Very nice. The reason it doesn't look like Hilltop, of course, is because I've just noticed with my eyesight being so brilliant now that Ardley are at home. Yeah. So there you go. So that explains why I couldn't see any hills.
Quite flat at Ardley.
This is definitely not at Ardley. This is at Harefield, where I've been a couple of times. This was another really good win for Ardley United. That does look like a good finish. First goal there. Lovely day as well. Yeah, I do love this time of the season when it's sort of just starting to warm up a little bit. Really good cross there. Not the greatest of defensive headers. Player on hand to nod it into the back of the net to make it 2. This one again looks like it's going to come in from a corner, similar to the goal.
I think that's a well-worked corner. The way they were set up for that.
And the little
don't know what that was.
Somersault. We'll call it a roly-poly, shall we? But
yeah, it was a roly-poly, that.
And then finally goal number 4, so a 4-0 win, pretty decent. And then a good header, good cross again as well. Harefield 0, Ardley United 4. And then finally the local derby, back at not Hilltop, back at Ardley, where I remember falling over in the car park there once when I was refereeing up there, and went into the change room, and the match assessor was there, and I was covered in mud. That was a good few years ago. Good ball through the middle there, good control, and he's just going to make sure it's going in. Doesn't need to get another touch. That's 2-0 to Ardley United. These crosses that are coming in, they're pretty good down the flanks, aren't they, Ardley? That was another decent cross, and then a good finish from, what's that, probably about 8 yards out to make it 3-0. Here's another one of their brilliant corners coming in. Back stick again, possibly more towards the penalty spot this time. Scramble on the line, headed home at the second attempt to make it 4-0. And this is goal number 5 coming now. A good pass down the right, and then a little cross, and then another good finish. Goalkeeper had no chance there. 5-0 to Ardley United. Milton did pull one back
from the spot,
from the penalty spot by the looks of it. Yes, indeed. Goalkeeper sent the wrong way, but Ardley 5, Milton United 1. And I have to say, all my visits to Ardley over the years, both as when I used to referee and also when I used to just go and watch games, lovely club, really nice club. I remember Norman Stacey there before, Ian Fever, who I know very well from Whitley Town days as well. Thanks very much to Ian for sending all those goals in. Really appreciate it, Ian. And you're having a great season. So, really good to see. What was that? That's 17 goals in 3 games.
Yeah.
My maths is...
A couple of hat-tricks there as well.
A couple of hat-tricks. No, really good. Well done, Ardley. Keep it going. I know the season's drawing to a close, but terrific to see.
Yeah, they've hit the straps running just at the right time, actually.
Definitely,
So keep our fingers crossed for them in the last part of the season. And Patrick made note during the goal show earlier that there was quite an important game for Oxford City coming up midweek against Hereford. And we've got the highlights of that game now. Can they stay up?
Yeah, of course they can.
To say Oxford City's trip to Hereford was a 6-pointer would be an understatement. If City were to win the match, then survival would be all but secured, but lose and suddenly it was looking like relegation could be a possibility again. Just 5 minutes in and disaster struck when George Monday's prime strike into the bottom corner gave Hereford the early leads, early doors, and really heaped the pressure on the Hoops. After a tough first half, after half-time the Hoops had a lifeline. Harrison Sonner was shown a second yellow card in as many minutes as he hauled Zach McEachran down on the edge of the box, reducing his side to 10 men and setting City up to dominate for the rest of the game. A leveller came for City with 15 minutes to play. Isaac Westendorf took the ball down in the centre of the box before setting Matty Taylor to sweep the ball into the bottom corner to see his side back on level terms. And then 3 minutes before the end, the good became even better for City. A corner was initially cleared out wide, but the ball was delivered back into the box where Candice Carroll arrived on the scene perfectly to glance the ball into the bottom corner and see his side to an important win that sees him all but safe in National League North.
It was a tough one today. I think a lot of credit needs to go to Hereford because they made it a game. They caught us kind of off guards at the start. They were relentless in their attacking threat in the first half. We didn't manage it at all. So it was quite pleasing to get into half-time at 1-0. Although saying that, we did have a couple of chances ourselves. I think we take our shots. I think we could have probably gone in sort of level terms. It's pleasing that we kind of said some home truths at half-time. I think we needed to understand what the game was and what we needed to do to kind of get the upper hand. And I think even before the red card, I think we were starting to get grips with it. I think we were understanding where we needed to kind of exploit the 2v1s. And then the red card, I think it's probably a clear red card for me. Questions about whether it was inside or outside the box, but we'll take that. And I think we controlled the game in the second half for large parts. We played some good football. We created a few opportunities, but towards the end of the game, we made it really difficult for ourselves. I don't think we kept the ball well enough towards the end. I think we allowed them to kind of get a foothold in the game towards the end, and I mean, arguably one of the balls that drop in the box could go in the net. So I think there's a lot to learn from that performance tonight. But look, the main thing for us is we've come to Hereford on a Tuesday night. We've got the win that we needed, and we've got 2 more games to go now.
There we go, a great result there for Oxford City. Our thanks to Andy Ballard there for that interview. Ross Jenkins was actually bedbound, I've just been heard, so he didn't actually attend that game to see what was possibly one of the most important games of the season for Oxford City, which not quite mathematically staying up, we think. We think they've done the job.
Pretty safe.
Pretty safe. So well done to them, and good luck for the rest of the season. We've got some exciting news.
There is, it's broken today. There's a really good interview on the Oxford City YouTube channel, which I saw earlier. It dropped earlier on. Andy Gate speaking with the former owner now, Justin Merritt. We'll say former owner. Justin Merritt, there has been a takeover of Oxford City Football Club. Spark Strategic Partners have acquired the club. Justin will remain on as the Chief Executive Officer. The interview that he did with Andy Gate it's a really good watch. They do a lap of the ground as well. Timed to perfection, Andy, I have to say, if you're watching.
Well done.
Finished the interview just as you completed the lap, but really interesting update that is. From Oxford City, and Justin talks about the future of the club, that at the end of the day, as we all know, they went under when they were evicted from the White House ground all those years ago. Came back, started back at the very bottom in the South Midlands League at Cutslow Park, down on the bottom pitch. I remember it well. And slowly but surely you have risen. They rose all the way, didn't they? All the way to the top, to the National League. I had a tough season in the National League as clubs do, because it's a big division. But as we say, looks like they're staying up in National League North. Might even switch across to National League South, depending on how things go elsewhere. Because there's lots of changes afoot, and very often with Oxford City, because of where they are, they very often move laterally across between North and South. And I think, from a logistics perspective, I think moving across to National League South would be fantastic news for them, because A, it would be a lot less travelling. B, they've got a really good record in National League South. That's, of course, where they came up from a couple of seasons ago into the National League. And also, it will encourage, hopefully, more away supporters, because if you're playing the likes of a South Shields or a Scarborough Athletic or a Darlington, as big a club as they are, that's a heck of a trek for some of those away fans. On the negative side of going to National League South, they will have a trip to Truro. And you and I both know how far Truro is to get to, especially when you see police officers on the overhead bridges and get flashed at speed cameras. But no, really exciting news for Oxford City. I encourage you to have a look at the interview and see what is emerging there, because it's a great community club. It always has been. And really pleased to see the run they've had. I think they're in, I saw it the other day, that if it was the start of the season, they're in title-winning form at the moment. They really are. I think they're unbeaten in 9 or 10 now. 7, 8, 8, sorry.
You did well there.
My eyesight's good. Even so, a brilliant run.
Patrick, producer, right on it there.
And they could have, if they'd have started like that, they could have been pushing towards the playoffs. But they're going to be safe. I'm going to say that they're safe. They're not going down.
You say it live now.
Yeah, please do watch the video. It's really worth watching.
One of the things you mentioned there, K-Dog, is how much they do for the community. There's lots of things they do. Even the Cherwell League cricket are having their captains and umpires meetings there and stuff like that. So they do quite a lot, away from the football. There's netball there as well, isn't there? So lots of things going on.
And so many teams as well. The junior teams, from under 6s. Justin Merritt's son himself plays, I think, in the under 10s. Brilliant. They've got the women's set up, the women's teams who we feature in our results package every week. They host Oxford United, of course, and a couple of weeks ago they hosted an FA Cup 5th round tie, and they hosted it brilliantly on behalf of Oxford United. 2,000 plus packed into the ground. It's just worth going there. It's just a cracking place to watch football. And I always say, I've said this loads of times, I love non-league football. The community spirit that you get in non-league football is something completely different to the professional game. And get yourselves down there. Hopefully, I'll be able to get there next year. Now that they're going to stay in that league and get to see a few games, not least to have a crack at some of their food again, because their food is the best in non-league football.
Raves about that. And I've actually played a couple of finals there as well. Sam Walters Cup.
Do you know what? I've refereed there.
It's great. It's great. I loved it. I think enough of City, because Patrick's drooling behind the cameras there. Let's go on to a different shaped ball, I think, K-Dog.
Yeah, on to Rugby Union and Chinner. They had a little bit of a blip at the weekend, didn't they? They're in the playoff places. Top 6 qualifies for the playoffs. Ealing Trailfinders have won the league by a mile. They've won every single game. But Chinner went all the way down to Penzance. Speaking of trips to Truro, down to Penzance to play the Cornish Pirates. Always a tough place to go. They went down by 57 points to 21 in that game. But Chinner remain in 5th place. They're in a good position to qualify for the end of season playoffs, which is brilliant. They're not going to go down, that's for certain. They're in a 5th position, and I won't say punching above their weight, because that's belittling them a little bit too much. They're a small village. They're a small village club, but they have done incredible things. Nick Easter, former England player, of course, is their director of rugby. They have a massive game this weekend. They're playing Worcester Warriors. Now, Worcester were in the Premiership, folded a few seasons ago. Chinner went there just after Christmas and pulled off the most remarkable win in front of a crowd approaching 9,000 at Worcester Warriors. So I think Worcester will be very keen to avenge that defeat. They're in second place, Worcester, behind Ealing. So that's going to be it's going to be a tough game. It'll be a massive game. There'll be a big crowd at Kingsley Road. We know what atmosphere is built there. And there was the exciting news, of course, released just a couple of weeks ago around the possible 5,000 all-seater stadium at Chinner Rugby Club, which will be absolutely amazing. I mean, you've been, as I have many times, to the club, and the atmosphere that Kingsley Road generates is incredible. If they can get a permission across the line for a 5,000 stadium, it will be a venue to behold, one of the best venues in the county. We will have to, though, address some very sad news as well that's coming from Chinner just today, and that's the really sad news, the passing of their Chief Executive Officer, Simon Vickers, who I've met a number of times, a really lovely guy. And very sadly, he's passed away this week. So my thoughts with everybody connected with Chinner, and obviously Simon's family. Such a nice guy, so passionate about Chinner, so proud. He was so proud of Chinner and where they had got to, and the level they'd got to. And I'm sure that on Saturday there'll be a suitable tribute to Simon, and I'm sure that Simon will be looking down from wherever he is, and he'll be cheering Chinner on as he always did. So many thoughts and condolences to everybody connected with Chinner and to Simon's family.
And we've got some highlights of the game at the weekend. So here's Cornish Pirates against Chinner.
Unsurprisingly, Campbell is there trying to disrupt things. This is a better wedge that has been formed by Pirates, and round they go. There's a little soft spot on the left-hand side. They're over. Exactly the result they wanted in this campaign. This time it's back, it's Doug Moore. Slight change of personnel, but the result is the same. They are flying towards the line. Pirates don't care, and left they come. Oh, what a score this could be. One more pass will do it. Yates is going to skate clear. It was at the Pirates' mercy. Right they go. It's on here. Round and reaching. Ewan Price-Thomas increases the lead for the Cornish Pirates. The tackle from Watson is a desperate one. Much better from Pirates this time. Can they find the right pair of hands? Quick out here to Bonbon. Reaches well for it. Out to Yates again. Oh, this could be a second try, and a brilliant score for the Pirates. They are completely in the mood this afternoon. Oh, inside ball. This is a gift. Ratcliffe has players with him. He's got to use them. Yes! Cornish Pirates are back at it, and Angus Mawson, who's joined the fray, feels that they would have fancied their chances at. Pirates working it brilliantly. Oh, another ball off the left-hand hand. Oh, that's a fantastic score. Relton is going to add to his collection. Robson starting to fizz it. Yates, try scorer of two. Oh, their way again. Thomas. Oh, they're going to do. Beckinsale. Another fantastic score from the Pirates. There is nothing at the moment Chinner can do except watch and chase shadows. Now they come left, one more pass could do it. Walker is looking for something. Oh, little dummy, because James Borton was not the man that Cornish Pirates thought was going to get the ball. Dummies back inside, one more could do it. Relton rides the tackle. Relton again out the back. The offload was adventurous. Beckinsale gets it. It's still there. Oh! They're towards the line and they're over again. Watson seems to be held. Oh, there's a bit of a bounce and it goes, and Chinner are going to skate through. Grant Hughes does get a score. Second try of the campaign for the right winger. The right man. Ribbons. Side down with yards to go. Pirates are in and over the ball. They're trying to make it work. It goes left. Oh, good offload. And there's the captain. And perhaps it should be. He has worked so tirelessly this afternoon, Alex Everett. Chinner played their part, didn't quite go their way. But the smiles will be wide down in Cornwall.
There you go, a bit of a hammering for Chinner, a rare hammering actually, but it's a very tough place to go for footage, courtesy of Clubber TV with the commentary. Really, really good. Another good-looking stadium down there in Penzance as well. China will be looking to bounce back on Saturday on what, as I said, will be a very emotional afternoon at Kingsley Road. I shall be there. I will try and get some interviews post-match, and hopefully China can do the job on Worcester for the second time. It'll be a very, very tough ask though, Worcester, full-time professional side, and there'll be a huge crowd because they get 8,000 in their home games. They'll be bringing a lot with them. So looking forward to it on Saturday.
It'll be really good. We've been fortunate enough in previous weeks to get some footage from Bicester Vixens, and Duncan Eames has done us proud again this week, where we've got some more footage and we can show you their game now. And we thank again Duncan for giving us this info. It's great that we are getting that sort of engagement from rugby, and also obviously Ardley earlier. I think producer is just about not putting it on the screen for us, or is he?
He's looking blankly.
He was looking blankly at that, but oh, there we go, Bicester Vixens. First try, look, Sophie Kelso. So there's some brilliant footage here. Look at this run though, K-Dog. This is a fantastic try.
That is a sprint, isn't it?
That is a sprint and a half. Fantastic, Sophie. That great first try there. Here we go, second try. Isla Graham. A little bit more traditional, that one.
I love the fact they're not swan diving over the line. Just pop it down and then just make sure they score. Sophie Kelso then here with the third try. So
she's got a bit of pace, this Sophie, hasn't she?
She has. She peels away, and nobody's catching her, are they? And again, straight under the post to make it hopefully a nice easy conversion there as well. Ellie Ferry with the third from the line out there. Good line out.
This is a great bit of footage. I love it. The
cameraman fell over.
Brilliant.
It does, yeah.
So,
you know why? It's because the cameraman's desperately trying to keep up with the pace of these players. But,
Duncan, this is brilliant. I love that. It's just so good.
But again, look at the pace as well, going over the line in the corner. And
another good try.
Another good try, and yet again under the post. So
absolutely,
make the conversions as easy as possible. Just pop it down. There you go. Just simple as that. And then Maddie Hodgkins Warren with try number 5. I like the fact we can see the camera as well in the shot.
It's great, isn't it?
And that's over the line for try number 5. Good.
This is what this is all about, isn't it? This is where we want footage like this, because this is it's great footage
and a really good setup as well out there. Sophie Kelso with her third try. Look, so hat-trick of tries for Sophie. Gosh, she is lightningly quick.
She is quick.
Decided this time not to go under the post, but there you go. The final score: Bicester 32, Abingdon 17 in that game there. And thank you again to Duncan Eames for sending that in. As Darryl said earlier, please send your footage to us. We will feature anything that comes to us. If it's sent to us, you can send it to us. You can email us, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. And you can, if the footage is too big to send, which sometimes it is on email, you can use WeTransfer, which is the package that we tend to use, and you can send your footage that way as well. So please do send it in, because anything that we get in, we will feature.
Good shout.
That's pretty good. That's a decent.
Keep coming in with these clips, because I just think that's great. It showcases what we're about, highlighting grassroots sports around Oxfordshire, and that epitomises that absolutely. So do send it to that email address, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you and love to get some more clips for any sport around Oxfordshire. It'd be great to showcase your sport in for sure. So that takes us on to our normal results package that a certain young man has put together.
Who's that?
And then tidied up by somebody else.
Always tidied up.
Results are now coming.
Just the two spelling mistakes.
just the two.
Apologies to Aidley United and apologies also to what was it? Somebody's Banbury United Jew.
Yeah,
so apologies.
something like that. But our thanks to K-Dog for Wes, or was it Patrick putting it together tonight? No, Wes putting the results together. So well done to those two guys
Made a
to
rare
bring that to
foray.
you. So that's decent, and that takes us to the league tables. There's some news first, isn't there? Some news.
So first of all, Wes made a rare foray into Oxfordshire. I saw him on Monday, which was good.
He had a net.
He did have a net. He did indeed. The result for Whitley Town on Tuesday, the game up at Summertown Stars, a 5-1 victory. I think there was an Adam Holloway hat-trick in there. That has secured them the Division 1 title of the Oxfordshire Senior League. They won Division 2 last year. They've won Division 1 this year, so they move into the Premier Division next season, one level then below the Hellenic League. And I put a post out on social media myself about this a couple of days ago. I think Whitley Town have been going about things the right way. When they reformed the first time, they went straight into the Hellenic League, didn't really have the infrastructure in place, and it didn't go right. But it's been really pleasing to see Whitley Town moving on and rising. They've been having amazing crowds, often more than 150 people. I think there was a lot went to Summertown in midweek. They've got a cup final to come, the President's Cup final on Saturday the 2nd of May at Kidlington. So that'll be an opportunity for a league and cup double. Into the Premier Division of the Senior League for them next season, which will be an altogether tougher proposition, but exciting news for them because they move grounds, don't they? They are moving into a new ground, which is in Windrush Place in Whitley, a new development. It'll be a fairly simple, basic ground initially, but with lots of scope and lots of opportunity there for development. A really good pavilion that's coming on nicely. I've seen some pictures of the building of the pavilion, and it looks amazing. It looks like a really good facility, and hopefully a facility for the whole community. That's the most important thing to stress. It's not a facility that's solely for Whitley Town to use. It's a facility for the community to use, and really good to see that local authorities can help progress clubs and teams and people with ambition. So congratulations to Ben Reardon, to Ashley, to Paul Foster, of course, the chairman who brought it all together. Congratulations to Whitley Town for winning the division. And good luck, I will say, to Shipton Excelsior and Tame United A, who are battling for the runners-up spot between the two of them. There's a couple of games left, and one of those two will get the runners-up spot and also claim a place in the Premier Division next season.
Great knowledge, K-Dog. Thanks for that.
That's why I'm back, isn't it?
That's why you're back, yeah. Good, well done to Whitney. A side we focused on quite a lot last year, not so much this year, in fairness. We'd love to get Ben in, perhaps get a Zoom interview in before the end of our season, because it'd be good to catch up with him and see how that season's gone and what they're looking to do for the future. So good luck to Whitney. That's fantastic news. So that does take us on to the league tables that Patrick's put together tonight. So what could go wrong?
Everything.
This is an interesting one, isn't it? Oxford United. This is it's. What do you think, K-Dog? Have they got a chance?
Well, rumours around West Brom, isn't there, that we've heard that they may be in for a points deduction, so you never know. Looks like Sheffield Wednesday, they've been down for a long time. Looks like Leicester City with their points deduction, they're in all sorts of trouble as well. That's quite a big gap though, isn't it? But you still have to have hope, don't you? There's 4 games left. They're in decent form, actually, Oxford United. That was a really good win against Watford on Saturday. Tough game this weekend away to Derby County, who knowledgeable Colin Ryde said must be rubbish because Southampton beat them. Is that right, Colin? So they must be rubbish if Southampton can beat them. So good luck, Oxford United. 4 games to go. Give it everything and try and stay in the Championship.
Yeah, good luck to them for sure. Into the National League. There you go. Oxford City's rise in the last few weeks with win, draw, win, draw, win. It's been fantastic. Now we're 53 points, and we do feel that they are safe. We'll keep our fingers crossed for them for the last couple of games, but we feel they're okay. Well done.
strange side, Banbury, this season. They've had an up and down season, shall we say. They go on long unbeaten runs and then have a few slip-ups. This week was case in point, a really good win over Sudbury on Saturday, 2-0, and then a 4-0 defeat against Stamford on Tuesday. But they're comfortably in mid-table. Calvin Langmead's done a decent rebuilding job there at Banbury. 16 wins, 16 defeats, and I think that if Calvin Langmead stays in charge, which I'm sure he will, they'll have a good crack at going up to the playoffs next season. It'd be fantastic, wouldn't it, to see Banbury United back in the National League as well. They had a season there under Andy Wing, of course. There was a few weeks ago, it looked as though they had a chance to push into those playoffs, but as I said, those slightly inconsistent results has dropped them down to mid-table. But yeah, a decent season, you'd say, after all the upheaval that they've had over the last few seasons.
Definitely. Division 1 Central, Tame United there in 5th position. Got a chance there to be in the playoffs.
Still are at the moment.
Yeah,
so
that's,
Hertford Town breathing down their necks, aren't they?
They are. But every chance. So good luck to Tame for the rest of the season.
Into Division 1 South. It's been a tough season for Jamie Heapy's men, but they are looking pretty safe, to be honest. They are 7 points above. In fact, they are safe, to be honest. There's only 20 teams in the league, so they are going to stay in Division 1 South. I know that they have had lots of issues with the travel. You look at the size around them and the distances they've had to travel. Falmouth, Brixham, Mousehole, which is about as far as Penzance. So many long trips, and it's such a difficult league to stay financially viable. And I know that John Bailey and everybody at the club there has worked their socks off to keep the club viable and doing as well as they possibly can. And Jamie Heapy has done a good job there. They're going to finish outside the relegation zone, which is great. And again, hopefully, you never know, with the restructure that we see every season, perhaps common sense will prevail. I always think it's a bit silly that Didcot Town are in one division and Tame United are in the other at the same level when there's only about 10 miles between them. Absolutely. But I guess the line has to be drawn somewhere, doesn't it? But let's hope that Didcot maybe move laterally across to Division 1 Central next season.
Great knowledge again. I've got to say it because I always say it. Cherry Red Records Combined Counties Football League, Premier Division North. There's Ardley United, 69 points from the 36 games played. We thought at one point they were going to win that league, but it looks like playoff position is pretty much secured there. Wallingford and Crowmarsh and Kidlington both in good positions there, 8th and 9th respectively, with 62 and 54 points.
Yep, Ardley in the playoff places still, and game in hand as well over the side, just above them. So hopefully they'll push themselves up a little bit more before their season draws to a close. Into the bottom half of the table, and Abingdon and Milton sort of neck and neck. Well, no, not sort of neck and neck. They are neck and neck. 48 points apiece. Mid-table, Northley have just pulled themselves out of the relegation zone with a couple of decent results in recent weeks. Edgware and Kingsbury and Amersham are the two sides that look in a lot of trouble. Edgware look like they're down. Holyport just below Northley, but Northley, again, we want to see them stay in that league because I've always said this, the more teams that are playing at the highest level possible, the better it is for Oxfordshire sport. So, good luck to Northley for the last couple of games. I think 2 games left for them. Edgware must be down because if there's 20 teams in the league, they've played 38, so that is it for them. So they are down.
Absolutely. GCE hired Fleet United Counties League Premier South. Easington Sports there in 17th position.
Pretty safe.
Pretty safe, yeah. Bugbrook, St Michael's. Will they get out of that position?
Why aren't they highlighted?
I can't believe we haven't highlighted them. We need them highlighted, don't we?
We do.
Something we've always highlighted on this show, but they. Well, I did say earlier in the series that they're doomed, but you never know. You never know.
Do you know what? One day I'm going to make it a task of mine to go and visit Bugbrook St Michael's and go and say hello to them. They're probably miles away, but we'll have to do it. We'll have to do it.
Definitely.
Hello League Division 1, Wantage Town are in good shape. They've had a really good season. Second place, FC Stratford really walking away with the league title now, though, by the looks of it, but Wantage really well placed in second, so they'll be top of the playoff places. And they'll be playing in the playoffs with Bewdley, Stonehouse and Malmesbury Victoria, the three teams below them. That looks pretty much sewn up, that four-way playoff, doesn't it? Yeah. With Cheltenham 4 points further adrift. So it looks as though Stratford have won the league, and then Wantage, Bewdley, Stonehouse, Malmesbury will contest the playoffs.
And in Division 1 there, Carterton in 13th position. Hey, well done, they've kept up. Clanfield have had a few good results of late, and they have moved up, but still in those relegation positions, along with Tame United reserves. So I think they're pretty much relegated from that division, unfortunately. Sad times.
But Clanfield will be back. They're another really well-run club, lovely club. You know, they've got a lovely facility, great pitch at Clanfield, absolutely. I have to say as well. And I know Pete Osborne very well. And if Clanfield are to go down, then I'm sure they'll be back, because they were a big club in non-league football back in the 1980s. Particularly, they had a really good, successful spell in the Hellenic League. It's sad to see them struggling in the lower echelons, but again, I'm sure they'll be back. To the Women's Football League there, Oxford United, who I was mighty impressed with when they played Charlton in the FA Cup a few weeks ago. Southern Division of the Women's National League, 4th place there, 35 points from their 20 games. Again, it looks as though Watford are going to win the league, Plymouth and Bournemouth just above them. Oxford United, though, have had a decent season, and I think they'll be fairly satisfied with where they are, 4th place.
Yeah, absolutely. And in Division 1 South West, Aberdeen United sitting comfortably in 6th. I know there's not many sides in that division, but I think they'll be okay. And reasonable season for Aberdeen United.
And we've mentioned them lots of times today, but we'll do it again. A decent season for City. Oxford City in 4th place, 19 points from their 15 games, mid-table again, but in a decent position. A couple of games left for them as well, and good luck to them for the remainder of the season.
And that's the league tables.
I don't think there are any mistakes on the table.
I think Patrick's done an incredible job.
There was one mistake I spotted, actually. It did say that Oxford were 4 points adrift with West Brom, but they were actually 2 points adrift with West Brom, because I just double-checked. So, but we're not going to make comment that he's made a mistake.
No, we
wouldn't say anything.
We wouldn't highlight it, would we?
No, of course not.
Because it is over to Patrick and Colin now for Fixture Focus. Which Patrick is going to talk over in a moment with a microphone that Colin is going to hand over to. See, we don't just throw this. Oh yes, we do. Our thanks. This is where we normally have our fixture focus, and normally with Locksmith and Rollercoaster Ride, or as I like to call them, Dastardly and Muttley.
It's got pressured here now because I usually do this kind of live behind the camera, but I've got to do it live now. But starting on Saturday, games running out for Oxford United, but a long trip to Derby County at 12:30 on Saturday. Obviously, Oxford United need to win every game now, really, to have a chance of survival, and got to hope that maybe West Brom get a point deduction, but you can't count on it, can you? As we've heard a few times from the show, Oxford City pretty much safe now. Just need 1 point to get mathematical safety, but they've got 3 teams between them and the drop zone. So it would be probably, absolute miracle if results went against them and City went down. So it'd be quite nice to go to a City game without pressure for the first time since about August. So slightly less big game for City for once. Banbury United, their season's kind of petered out a little bit. They host Redditch United, now fairly safe in mid-table. Tame United, as we saw in the tables earlier, they're very much still in the playoff shout, and very tough game for them. Biggleswade Town above them in the league, so need to try and get a result out of them there to have a chance, I think, because Hertford are level on points. So if they lose and Hertford win, then they'll drop out of the playoff places for the time being. We're talking about long journeys, and there's one of them for Didcot Town, right down to Mousehole. And as Kieran was saying earlier, it's pretty much Penzance, isn't it? So that'll be most of a day or two on the road. As we saw as well, Didcot Town are pretty safe now anyway, so probably not much to play for there. On Sunday, Oxford United, they are at home to Real Bedford in the Women's National League Premier South. That's at the M Group Stadium, 2 o'clock kickoff. Then we have Oxford City. They travel to Badshot Lee in the Southern Region Women's Football League Premier. That's a 2 p.m. kickoff as well. And there is no game for Abingdon United this weekend, so just a couple of games for them there. So I will hand back in front of the camera to K-Dog and Woodsy.
Thanks to
K-Dog and Woodsy.
Yeah, I know it's the wrong way round, but
No, that's the right way.
We'll let him off. He's worked tirelessly this week, I have to say. It's been a real tough week for our producer, so he's done a storming job. And he did talked over that fixtures really nicely, so well done, Patrick.
Hopefully,
Very well done.
if they do well against Chester, I won't be getting the regular weekly message about how bad the ref has been.
No, that's true.
Although he did say the ref was terrible last week, apparently.
But our thanks, anyway, to that. It's a good time to say the podcast for Locksmith and Rollercoaster Ride, Spotify and YouTube each week. There it is, look, the Roundup podcast. All the football from around our county. Absolute brilliant things that they do there. So do head over to Spotify or YouTube and listen on a weekly basis to all the football around Oxfordshire.
QR code.
Okay, that's very, very posh, you know. We're right up there with our tech. That takes us on nicely to the little Red Bull that I managed to watch a couple of games. I've had a couple of nets in the last week or so, and cricket has been been going for quite a while in the county championship, etc. So Wes has put together how our Oxfordshire players are doing within those games.
The county season has been underway the last couple of weeks, with the men in county championship action, whilst the women feature in the One Day Cup, with plenty of Oxfordshire stars shining for their professional clubs. We start off with James Coles, who earned a £390,000 paycheck in the 100 last month. He has helped Sussex to back-to-back wins, along with Tom Price, who moved down to the South Coast this year. Coles made scores of 28 and 26 against Leicestershire, and helped Sussex to a narrow win over Warwickshire. Tom Price played a starring role in the Martlets' victory over the Bears, with an unbeaten 70 in the second innings, helping to secure the win by 5 wickets to follow up scores of 43 and 73 the previous week. His brother Ollie Price has started well with the bat too, making 29 and 44 at the home of cricket, and twin 30s against Durham, whilst his Gloucestershire teammate Miles Hammond made his first half-century of the year in the opening game against Middlesex. In the One Day Cup, Lindsay Smith took 2 wickets for Hampshire in their season opener against Essex, whilst Abby Norgrove's career best score of 85 helped set up a thrilling win by 5 wickets with just 2 balls to spare at the Utilita Bowl. On the opposite side, Flo Miller made 12 for Essex that game and followed it up with 49 not out from just 37 balls against Durham in yesterday's round of fixtures. This weekend sees Gloucestershire host Lancashire in the County Championship, while Sussex have a week off, and Essex host Warwickshire in the One Day Cup, with no game for Hampshire. Back to the studio for much more Ox Sports Unleashed.
So thanks to Wes Spearman there for showcasing the fantastic Oxfordshire cricketing talent that is on show, and long may that continue. Very much looking forward to the cricket season. Right, as you can see, I'm sat in between a rose between 2 thorns.
Speaking of fantastic cricketing talent.
Yes, go on then.
Yeah. No,
what about? Oh yeah, of course, yes. Right, yeah. So this is the last live show of the season. We do some more podcasting, I think, before the football season ends. So we thought it was just a chance to, I think, go back over why we started Oxsports Unleashed, or whether I didn't start it, because it's Woodsy and K-Dog that actually started it. So the pair of us have been broadcasting with this team for probably about 6 years, either side of COVID. Friday Night Live, we started off doing that. They've both been contributing to the Hospital Radio Network, Radio Show, which I do a lot of work for. And they've got day jobs as well, because Darryl is a cricket coach. Those who don't know Darryl, that's what he does, as well as being cricketing director of Oxford Downs Cricket Club. Is that right? Yeah, sporting director. Yep. K-Dog works for the police. He's not been detained by the police, but you're part of their social media and PR team doing that during the day. But he's also, as people will know him for being one of the reporters on BBC Radio Oxford as well. So they're their day jobs. That goes to show you that this is all about volunteers. And we did this because we all love grassroots sport in Oxfordshire. And so I thought I'd just take this chance to chat to these two guys again to make sure that everybody out there knows why Oxsports Unleashed started off. And I'll just ask you, Darryl, to start off with. What was the idea behind Oxsports Unleashed?
Well, initially we finished our Masked Cricketer, and we thoroughly enjoyed that, interviewing some of the legends of the game. And that obviously became a little bit harder once COVID had gone. People had not as much time. So after our 50th episode of Adam Hollyoake, we decided to draw a line under the Masked Cricketer. I felt that there was a market. There's not much media for grassroots sports around Oxfordshire, and I thought, would it be a good idea to present a show that could showcase some of those sports? And when I think about how many sports, we have only touched a very small amount, but still quite a lot since we've been doing Oxsports Unleashed. So, I was quite excited about trying to do it. We managed to coax Matt Bowden and let us use the facilities here at Oxford Downs and all the gear, which was greatly appreciated. I've got to be honest, I've thoroughly enjoyed every single episode that we've done. You know, we're very amateur. We make the odd mistake. Well, we make quite a lot of mistakes, to be fair. But it's all part of the show for me, and I'm quite proud of some of the things that we've done. And that's not me. I'm just in front of the camera. It's the guys that have been doing. Patrick's goal show, even that Wes there for the cricket, fantastic. Some of those things you wouldn't get as professionally done on the BBC or Sky Sports, in my humble opinion, because I think they do a fantastic job. So, yeah, that's probably a little bit more than you wanted from that question, isn't it?
No, I think so. But I mean, let's go back to Kieran. You started out live as a journalist at the Oxford Mail. And I think one of the reasons that we've decided to do this show, say we're all volunteers, is to, on the back of raising money for, I think, Oxfordshire Disabled Sport, that was right, wasn't it, with the Masked Cricketer. Yep. But the thing that actually caught my attention was that when you first started out at the Oxford Mail, just remind everybody how many sports journalists were working down at the Oxford Mail when you started down there. Yeah,
well, when I started, and it was one of the happiest times of my working life, there was 7 or 8 sports reporters. There was Stuart Earp, who's an absolute legend sports editor, a very good cricketer as well, played for Horsepath. There was the legend of Russell Smith, the very well-known Michael Knox, John Murray, who was the Oxford United reporter. There was Richard Tilley, who used to rip the what's it out of me week after week after week. Still does, absolutely. Nick Farrant, myself, Ed Mazzetti, loads and loads of really, really good, talented sports journalists. I wasn't a particularly talented sports journalist. I just grabbed an opportunity when it arose. So I actually joined the Oxford Mail. I was actually overseas. I was on a working holiday in Australia back in the year 2000, a long time ago, when essentially my dad phoned me up whilst I was halfway through my working holiday and said, the Oxford Mail are advertising for a sports journalist. And I was in Australia. So I rang the Oxford Mail, and I rang and spoke to Stuart Earp from Australia and said, I'm really interested in this, but I'm in Australia. And he said, well, the interviews are coming up. You need to put an application in. I did. I shortened my working holiday considerably. I came back a lot sooner than I had planned. I was planning to be away for a year. I played some cricket over there, not to the highest of standards, because everybody knows I'm not a particularly good cricketer, but I played some decent cricket and enjoyed it. And I did some work over there for Channel 9 and for ABC Radio. But I ended that early because of this opportunity that came from the Oxford Mail. And I always remember going in to see Stuart for my interview and explained to him that I'd basically flown halfway around the world to come back for the interview. Whether or not that helped me get the job, whether it sort of showed at that point how keen I was on the job. And you say I started at the Oxford Mail. Professionally, I started at the Oxford Mail, but I had always been involved in sport, being like a press officer. I was, as a wee babby almost, 15, 16-year-old kid, I was the assistant to A.D. Bircher, who again is a very well-known local person, who was the club secretary and press officer for Whitney Town when they were a very good side in the Southern League. And I remember A.D. taking me under his wing when I was fairly young, and I remember the first game he took me to was Burnham away. Whitney Town played Burnham away. I think Whitney Town lost the game, but I enjoyed it so much. I was watching what A.D. Bircher was doing. Again, a complete amateur in terms of what he was doing, but he did such a good job. And he had the secretary's job to take on at Whitney Town as well. And then he basically said, do you fancy taking over doing the press stuff? Because it was a lot of work for AD. And I said, yeah, I'm quite keen on doing that. So I did that. It's a bit of a potted history of my life. And it went from there. And I started doing stuff for Radio Oxford. That was back in the day when you had legendary figures like Charlie Rawlings at Bicester Town and John Shepherd at Oxford City. And in those days, obviously, different times, local radio covered non-league football amazingly well. They still do try and cover non-league football as best they can. They obviously focus on Oxford United quite rightly because they're the top club in the county. And it really went from there. And then, like I say, the position came up at the Oxford Mail. I was there for 11 very happy years. Whilst I was there, I couldn't do stuff for Radio Oxford because there was a bit of a conflict of interest there. And then I returned to do Radio Oxford stuff. And from that has actually blossomed into also Radio Northampton as well. And I've had opportunities to do other stuff with Radio Northampton. I've got opportunities to do some cricket coverage during the summer, if time ever permits. I mean, Darryl and I are always very busy in the summer with our coaching. And that's really how it started for me. And it's all from a passion for sport. Darryl takes the mick all the time. I'm not a sportsman. Clearly, I'm not a sportsman. You saw that with my golfing exploits on that Challenge K-Dog where I missed the ball about half a dozen times. But although I'm not a sportsman, I love sport. And I love watching sport. There's particular sports that I love more than others. Cricket and football and rugby are my three absolute passions. I love all of them. But equally, some of the sports that we've seen on this show that have really opened our eyes, you know, the dodgeball that Darryl nearly pulled a fetlock doing that, and the kart racing, you know, Rocket Ronnie, and obviously Ben, who we remember so well when he was in Formula Ford, and you know, we've covered some amazing sports. The paddle tennis, George Sambach coming in and talking about his exploits as well, and if you look back over the 2 or 3 seasons that we've done this so far, and it sounds like it's like a seminal moment to say this, we're not ending it, by the way, but if you look back, we have covered an awful lot of sports over the 3 or 4 years that we've been doing this. Hopefully Oxford City Stars will be coming back. There's news developing there as well, and I know Darryl went to some ice hockey and enjoyed that. So yeah, it is all about covering sport that maybe has lacked coverage in recent years for whatever reason. Local media doesn't cover the sport as well as they used to be able to. That's through no fault of anybody. It's just unfortunately the way of the world. And that's why we do this. And what's been really refreshing and what's been great is the engagement that we do get. Some weeks we get hundreds and hundreds of views in a week. Some weeks we get less, and we understand that. But it's the engagement from people that actually send stuff to us, that bother to send stuff to us. It makes us realise that actually people do watch us. And yes, we'd love to get more subscribers, and we'd love to have more viewers. And you know, hopefully, as this programme develops and maybe adapts and changes slightly, hopefully we will see more viewers, because we've always had this goal, and it's still a long way off, that should we ever get to a stage where the YouTube channel can be monetised, that money, the monetisation would go straight back into local sport. And we've done that a little bit anyway. We sponsored, didn't we? We sponsored Rocket Ronnie, we sponsored Ben. I remember him putting your label on his car, and so it's been brilliant. And as we've just seen there with Wes's cricket roundup, we've got some serious sports people around this county. James Coles is a case in point. James Coles will play for England. I'm convinced he's going to play for England, and he's going to play for England soon. And he's come through Oxfordshire. So we're a small county. We're a county that punches above our weight. We've got some fantastic semi-professional football teams. We've got Chinner Rugby, who are one level away from the Premiership, which is incredible to think about. We've got Oxford United, who, fingers crossed, are going to be moving to a new stadium. And that's why we do it, and that's why we love it. And I'm getting quite emotional about it, Colin, to be honest, because it's been an absolute pleasure, and it's been a pleasure having Darryl taking what time is it? Gone 9 o'clock. Taking the piss out of me every week.
We can say that, yeah. But I mean, so I think for me personally, one of the things that my highlight was going to see one of my heroes, Mick Shannon, out of Shannon Racing, courtesy of your good mates who had a horse out there, or horses out there, I should say. So you were down to making that contact. We had a fantastic day, only in the spring, wasn't it? It seems a long time ago now. So that was a highlight for me, because I got to meet, being a Southampton man and a Southampton fan, born and bred. To actually meet Mick Shannon and own up right at the end of the interview that I was a scummer, a fellow scummer, was a highlight of one of the things that I've been doing. But for you, Darryl, of the many things that we've covered in the past 12 months, even since we started out doing this, what was your highlights? Some of your highlights, do you think? Being a member of the Axe Gang?
Definitely being part of the Axe Gang. Definitely, young Brad spoke so well, and it was great just getting a feel for local boxing, actually, and what they go through and how you go from amateur to professional and stuff like that. So I think one of the biggest highlights for me is actually learning about other sports. I'm very much cricket and football, and very blinkered on that. And some of my interviews, when I'm interviewing somebody from another sport that I have no idea about, I'm really interested in it, and hopefully that comes across, and we get some really good information out of the interview with those people. And the highlights, there's been so many. Eton Fives, just a bizarre game, if you like, but played by a lot of people, and an exciting game, actually. And that's great. We've had Henry Latimer paracycling. That was a highlight for sure, and listening about how that works, etc. But yes, the learning about the new sports. Netball was fascinating. I didn't know a lot about that, and just those sort of things you can't put a price on, actually. And I really have, hand on heart, I've really enjoyed just learning about those different sports. It's been fascinating. Highlights with all the different presenters that we've had on, and also. I do say it, and I'll say it again, some of the things we do actually produce are top notch, and our thanks to the guys, Wes, Blake, Patrick, yourself, putting that together. It's been brilliant. Loved it.
Well, we should also thank Oxford Downs Cricket Club, because we've been here this evening, and while we've been here, they've been out in the nets practicing as well, so getting ready for their season. A few ducks on the field here. So yeah, I mean, again, we go back to the earlier question I had for you, because when you started out, there were like about half a dozen sports journalists down to the Oxford Mail. They're now down to one part-time person. Okay, so who does mainly covers Oxford United. And so that's one of the reasons why there's been less coverage of sport, why we've been encouraged to try and do that and hopefully plug that gap. And the more grassroots, the better, I think, don't you? I mean, that's why.
Yeah, I do think that, and it would be remiss of us not to reflect on the fact that the Oxford Mail still do a damn good job with what they've got, and they do as much as they can. They still cover as much as they can. I'm never going to be one that would say that it's their fault that coverage of certain sports has gone. It's just the way of the world, and I've always had happy memories of working there, and it's pleasing that we're lucky to have a local newspaper, because some counties have a local newspaper that comes out just once a week. They come out every day, they cover as much as they can, they do fantastic coverage of Oxford United quite clearly, lots of exciting times ahead for them as well. Highlights, I've just got to flag one highlight, and that was when Darryl was interviewing Ben for Formula Ford, and Darryl was quite keen to get his hands on Ben's racing helmet, and I was just watching Ben's eyes and watching his face, and he looked absolutely horrified that Darryl was going to drop that helmet, which was worth something like over £1,000. And he was a bit worried you were going to drop it, Darryl, and that's a big highlight for me.
Things,
yeah. It's a big highlight for me.
Not good for a cricketer.
No, not really.
And what a cracking guy Ben is as well. And we wish him well. I'd love to see Ben get back into motorsport, because that was his passion. Similarly with Rocket Ronnie as well, his passion as well. So there's so much there. Youngsters that could have bright futures ahead of them. And they're my two big highlights. Other highlights for me is watching the likes of Chinner moving up through the leagues, watching the likes of Oxford City competing at Step 2 and Step 1 for one season, watching the exploits of Banbury United and getting through to the first round of the FA Cup on an occasion, and nearly getting through to the first round again this year, just missing out in the last round. But it is also the grassroots, like you said, Darryl. It's the grassroots stuff where people don't know much about dodgeball, and it is a really exciting sport. I wasn't particularly keen to be smashed by a ball, that's why I let you do it. But Peter, such a likeable guy and so passionate about his sport, and that's the thing, isn't it, is actually seeing the passion these people have for their sports.
I was going to say about dodgeball, I think we did help a little bit getting people to John Mason School on a Monday night from what we did, and they've expanded off the back of that. And I'm not saying it was just us, because it's probably their hard work as well
100%,
of advertising their sport, but it's nice to be a small part of that, that's quite a nice little story for Oxsports Unleashed, I think.
And then just finally, I've got to say this because it's the best moment in terms of funny and wonderful. And I remember it's 2 years ago now, but Abingdon United Development's 12 Days of Christmas is still the funniest thing that I've ever seen. It was brilliant. It's still on our channel. You can go back and have a look. I think we repeated it the following year. It was hilarious. It was well put together. And it just goes to show, actually, that sport is fun at the end of the day. And that's the most important thing. It's not all about winning and losing.
Correct. Absolutely.
I'll leave you to wind up this show, young man.
Yes, no, thanks.
Almost in tears, aren't you?
Almost.
Not quite.
Our thanks to Colin, Rollercoaster Ride, for interviewing Woodsy and K-Dog at the back end of our last live show for this series. We will be back in the next couple of weeks with pods and perhaps a pre-recorded show as well, because we want to see out the end of the football season to make sure all our sides have stayed where they need to stay. So keep tuned for that over a period of time. Nice to see K-Dog back presenting as well.
Checks in the post?
No.
No checks exchanged hands, we're all volunteers.
A big thank you to Colin, who has presented throughout Series 3 pretty much every week. So and obviously producer Patrick Lock, who's put an awful lot of time and effort into our shows, along with Wes Spearman and Blake Bint, who applying their trades in places in cricket at the moment, which is great for them. So our thanks to everybody who's involved. Thanks to everybody who's contributed, all our guests, all the people who've sent in clips. It's been fantastic. It's been I was going to say a rollercoaster ride. It has, because we've had some really good times, and hopefully there'll be more in the future. Do you want to add anything before I really say goodbye?
No, apart from just echoing all those thoughts, and just to everybody that's about to embark on their cricket seasons, good luck.
Yeah.
You are going to be on a performance-related bonus for my coaching this year, Darryl. For every run I score, you're going to get 50p from me.
So I'm going to be £1 richer come September.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks to everybody. Thanks for you for watching. Thanks to Oxford Downs. Please join us again in the future, where we'll unleash some more Ox Sports. We'll see you then.
See ya.